HomeLife 每年一度的这个年度大会马上就要开始了。好了，我们一起去看一看里面是什么情况。Okay, just finished the registration. 刚刚完成了注册。这边是一个展会，很多展览。早餐供应，咖啡。看到我们同事 Linda， 还这么早啊你？是有好多卡片的展览的。
这是干嘛呢？你是自拍吗
Gallaudet. Did I do it right? I did. Let me introduce him. He's a Senior Director of Broker Relations for Canada. Actually, he's for North America, if I'm not mistaken. I am. Absolutely. Mr. Gallaudet is leading Zillow's group in their broker relations efforts to create and maintain partnerships with top brokerages and franchises across the country.
Were mentioned in the U.S. press. Our company is about 13 years old, and we started with one single brand called Zillow, Zillow.com. So that can be Zillow, that can be the broker website, realtor.ca, all of the above, to find different, worked with an agent to represent them in a transaction. Added to all of your listing detail pages, along with a link back to HomeLife.ca and a brokerage description that tells these consumers more about the HomeLife brand so they can understand why you work at such a great company and find an immediate contact to then not only post on Zillow.com, but you can also to alert the system that you're from outside the U.S., right, to get specific. Here's an example of an agent search. The second result here, you can see her reviews in Google, which is what I was just talking about. Okay, U.S., right? Again, the listing agent is always displayed as the top contact, common contact. When a consumer chooses metrics, one is the client reviews, which I've talked about, and the second is past sales, right? Past sales are coming in the coming months. They're not here. Location characteristic. But you as an agent would identify that you'd like more leads in that specific neighborhood, right? Requesting client reviews, right? In the U.S., if somebody asks me whether they're a great candidate to purchase advertising, I say you should absolutely build your profile first. All of those things are free, right? When we have the ability to advertise.
And my question is, I know Zillow is very popular in America because most of my friends, they want investment in a property in America. They go to the Zillow website.
Yes.
But I just wonder, because most Canadians, they use the MLS to search a property. So why I should register Zillow? So why my client go to Zillow to find a property? So
great.
Also another question, sorry. Is what's your main market? So is Zillow, you have office here in Canada. That's for the American to search a property in Canada or for the Canadian search a property?
First place, great question. So ultimately our answer is for the experience, right? We're focused on not only providing them with the information they're looking for, but a great experience on our website, and more specifically on a mobile, right, platform, so that they can pull out their phone today. Everybody knows that our economy, ultimately our decisions, are driven by this, right? This remote control of life. You push a button and you want it. Is it U.S. folks that will come to look at Canadian real estate or vice versa? It's all of the above, right? And it's not just U.S., it's our international audience, right? And so we're doing everything possible to try to create as much brand awareness as possible, right? So in the U.S., it's 180 million folks understand our brand and use it, and actually Google the name Zillow more than they do real estate now. And so that same brand we're trying to spread.
So I know it. And they're in discussion with them, including all the local boards, etc., etc. Toronto board is just one of the boards that was there at this meeting. So they are right into the whole thing. So that's why we are interested, because that are interested in the entire country, not only in one board. We invested whatever it takes to make you shine, to make you powerful, to make you stand out in our own space. And come on.
Thank you. I'm all wired up. Oh my God, I'm so excited. Let me say to you that I'm going to introduce two things to you today. One, of course, is HomeLife University. And you know, just before we get into my webinars and how to be able to register for them, the one thing I always like to say, this is my favorite time of year, to be able to actually do a little something every day. I believe one of the hardest things in real estate is to stay motivated. How many agree with that? It's not easy to stay motivated every day when you consider how we get knocked around in this business by our clients and by other agents as well. So I want to be your personal coach. I'd like to be on there every day giving you a little encouragement, a little shot to help you out there, get more listings, make more sales. And so I want to grow this, but I need an audience. So I'm begging you to let me help you. The first thing I want to do is show you how to be able to access your webinar series and to be able to register for any webinar you want. You're on the home page of HomeLife. You're going to click right at the top there where it says broker agent. At the top, you're going to see right where it says a calendar. Right at the top, you're going to click there on that calendar. And it's going to take you right now to the last day of October. Happy Halloween, by the way. And now you'll see every Tuesday, you'll see each one is a different seminar. Each one is a different webinar, rather. And you hit the accept button. If you want to take all four, you have to accept all four. And if you can't make it on Tuesdays from 1 to 2 o'clock, then I say assure you, I have written a course on it. I have written courses on everything. I write 4 new courses every single month, sometimes as many as 6 every month. So from Facebook to getting traffic to your website, from holding awesome year. I really believe that. And I want to be your coach. So let me help you with that. Thank you.
How do you like that? You think that's good for us? Is there any one of you that doesn't want to become 5-star agent? Is there anyone here? Because if there is any hesitation in the area, please give me a call. Send me the email. I'll spend the time 6-star. Well, that may happen. We'll see that perhaps, let's say the multi-million-dollar earnings, we may go to the next level. That's going to serve them. That 5-star agent is going to serve them. Put yourself ahead of everybody else, and you'll see how much that's going to do for you. And this is the area you cannot compromise. Don't back off. I will not allow this thing to happen to us. You back off, this will get to eat you over. Look, they come in, Zillow. What do you think they're here for? To make money. Right? But let's use them because we make money too. It's okay. Let's build well together and let's share well together. And that's our motto.
今天都会把它放到那。啊，这是喝的东西吗？这是。先去那个这边是吃饭的。说是吗？那好吧，那就到里面来吧。
咬了一口， 哇，Sammy，我们油光、油嘴都没擦干净。自拍食物。
in your account. And if any of you have done a deal with us, you know that right now it's 1:35. If a deal is registered right now, you will be told in 60 seconds that the deal has closed. How many of you would like to be notified within 60 seconds that the deal has closed? That is automatic in my firm. And we have 35 locations. You can pick up my brochure at my booth. Alcohol, you can't use cannabis. So that's a little bit of background about what is going on. So, what started to be legal on October 17th? Certain things are allowed, but some things are not. Okay, and the big problem is 4 plants per residence. So there's no limit on how high these plants can grow. That's why people are afraid, because a cannabis plant in general does give off more moisture. For realtors, is that more than 4 plants, now it's a grow house. How am I going to prove it's clean? And that's really what it is today. And so they've already said, even though there's a supply shortage, in the first couple weeks, it's now 2 weeks, they've sold tens of millions of dollars of cannabis across Canada. And when you really think about that, that's tens of millions of dollars already not going into the pockets of criminals. You harvest it, you grow them again, and the moisture stays in. Then in Europe, I think it's coming here, there's a mini fridge. And so, same thing, you just plug it in the wall. No damage to your electrical, and you don't have to grow them very long. Physical defects. So what's a major physical defect? There are 3 categories. There is a foundation problem, major leak that was not fixed, and mold behind the walls, because that's a health risk. So if you have either of those 3, and the seller knows about it but does not disclose it to you, you can sue the seller after closing. But you have to prove they knew. You see, with a flood, it's pretty easy to prove the seller knew. The contractor just has to look behind the wall, and they could probably see that the seller tried to fix this a certain way. So it's easy to prove they knew about a flood. It's not easy to prove they knew about mold. You have to disclose this. However, they have to tell the truth if they're asked. How many of you have seen clauses recently in offers that say, seller represents and warrants that there have been no murders, suicides, natural death, shootings on the property? How many of you have seen these clauses? Now you know why they're in the agreement. Because if they're in the agreement, the seller has to tell the truth. And if he lies or she lies, they can be sued after close. That's very important. You must include those clauses today going forward.
Dan Wood is a public speaker for major conferences and global brands. His focus is on marketing and technology for generating leads, to lead follow-up and after-sales systems for repeat and referral businesses. He currently runs Brokerage Nation, a collection of over 200 real estate offices and over 8,000 plus real estate agents who are enrolled in his online training programs. Dan Wood is an awesome speaker, is incredibly knowledgeable. The first 2 presentations he's going to do is lead generation and social media. And I don't know one real estate agent who hasn't asked me about that questions on both of those subjects. You're in for a treat. Then we're going to take a break after he does his first 2, and we're going to come back, and he's going to do another presentation on the 30 days mini challenge, if I did that correctly, yes. And before I forget, don't forget, we have a draw after Danwood is finished today, so don't leave. We got some great prizes, so enjoy.
And there's getting the neighborhood coming through and looking at the property. Free business, right there. I was also very hungry. I would come into the office and grab a piece of paper and draw a grid, like a tic-tac-toe grid, and it worked out to 12 squares. And my goal was to be the first in the office, turning on all the lights, and the last to leave, turning off all the lights. I felt very accomplished, like other people are doing it, I'm a hustler, I'm in the office, I'm making it work. My goal was to have 12 conversations a day with anybody about real estate. And I wouldn't leave the office until that happened, or it was too late for me to call people. Fishing poles and wait for the right ones to catch. So Google is just like another one of those fishing poles for me. So landing page, let me just, website, I do blogging occasionally. And when I do blog, I drive a lot of traffic to that one page. A landing page can be a blog on your web property or investment property. It's one topic at a time, right? So you would have a call to action about that topic. So the elements that you should include on a landing page would be a contact form. Most of you, if you have a website, it will have a house value form built in automatically. I encourage you to go take a look. I can guarantee most people are asking too many questions. If you're asking the age, the square footage, how many bedrooms, how many bathrooms, like, are you working with a realtor? You're asking way too many questions. They don't even know the agents. And I would have my branding behind me at the front desk. Usually there's like a logo of your company. So that would be there. I'd hit record. So I would just basically have a 30-second little clip of me saying, hey there, are you looking for a blank? Fill it in. Bungalows, house values, condos, whatever. So hey there, it's Danny, what are you looking for a blank in Oshawa? Well, you found it. Just fill in the form below and you're going to get blank. So I'm telling them this is what you're looking for and this is what you're going to get, top to bottom. So the very first thing I have these people see when the page loads is the main keyword that I knew they were searching. It's not a pretty picture of me and standing in my kitchen and it looks awesome. It's they don't care about me or you. They care about what they're searching for at that moment. So I put the keyword at the very top and I'll spend it on better things. So don't boost the post. You can still post on your business page, but what you want to do is then go to facebook.com/ads and run the ad that way. The reason for it is because you have way more criteria that you can leverage. And filter that, so I'm just going to show you real examples. Seller ad. This is an example of a seller ad. It says local house values ads. You shouldn't include more than 20% text on your ad. So say you have a picture of the listing. Don't put your logo on the picture. Don't put a call to action and your phone number and all your RICO information on the picture. You put all of that in the description. It relates to that MLS listing. I totally look like this guy. I was a scatterhead. So I came up with this. And you know who taught this to me? The pizza company. When you call up a pizza company, they go through a series of questions. It's the same series of questions that they're taught to go through. So I'm like, oh, I just have to come up with my own real estate order form. So this is what this is, an order form. So I'll zoom in. On the top right of this order form, everybody, I have to get their name, phone number, email, and their address. So this is where I put all that information, name, phone number, email, address. I'll get a source of where it's from. Was it a buyer lead, a seller lead, a referral, internet, door knocking? Just because I want to track what business works for me. So this is just like they're having a baby, they're moving from Toronto, whatever. I keep all my notes. Underneath that is when I get to the buying section. So I already had it already pre-typed. And I'm going to give this to you as a Word document so that you can edit it for your area. But for me, it would say Oshawa, Whitby, Pickering, Ajax, all of Durham, and Bowmanville. So my very first question says, if you were to move, where would you move to? So I repeat all of the stuff I wrote down. So I'm like, so you want Durham region, and you want all this stuff. So I repeat it. You want Oshawa, 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom, blah, blah, blah. Now if you were to move, when did you want to move? And I let them answer me. And they're going to make up something, because buyers are liars, they have no idea. So he's like, yeah, I want to move in the winter. So or in this case, he says spring. So I write down, or I don't even have to write it, I just circle it, spring. Then I repeat, okay, well, if you want to move by the spring, when does it make sense for you to get in a car and start looking? I'm peeling the onion layer back, one layer. Like, these people don't want to be on the phone with you. You called them cold. They filled in a form on your website. They do not want to be talking to you. So if you're going to spend 10 minutes on the phone, you have a realtor you'll be working with. See how the questions are stacked so that it flows as a conversation? How awkward is it for you to call an internet lead and say you're working with a realtor, right away they tune into what's in it for you. I don't need to talk about all the other stuff because I already know I have access to that. However, if they didn't buy it off the MLS, then I will want to get the questions of like, what are you thinking? How much do you think the home is worth? It's a good question to ask because some people have an idea. 4 or 5 slots. You're probably going to have to follow up with more people more than 4 or 5 times. Guess what? This is a piece of paper. You flip it over, you've got a whole blank sheet of paper, man. I mean, if this piece of paper isn't crumply and got coffee stains on it, you're not working it. The very first person you talk to is ID number 1. The next person you talk to is ID number 2, and 3, and so on. See that? And so, ID number is just page 1, page 2, page 3, page 4. Then on the year calendar, I would fill in, okay, on April 3rd, I have to call this person on April 2nd. So you still should be using a database. I'm not telling you to go into like the database into smaller chunks. That way you can communicate with them effectively. That way in the spring, you can do a direct mail campaign to your sellers. And you can do a buyer campaign, like you can target all these different people based on who they are. And simplifying your notes. If you don't make good notes, you're not following up with people, and that's where you get that cobweb effect that you don't know who half the people are. So if you make good notes, it's never going to happen. Okay, so for the next call date, say I get an internet lead today. I love
那
internet.
个律师讲的特别有用，尤其他说到怎么去处理那些租客啊，还有那房东那些，因为这个大麻都是新的东西嘛，对于我们就任何一个经济来说，都是很重要去了解，从法律层面上学到更多知识，去帮助这些客户吧，帮助我们的客户去避免一些漏洞或者避免一些陷阱。
好，今天很快就进入到最后的尾声了。今天学了很多的东西，有这个 Zolo 就是网上推广的，还有后面这个HomeLife 新的 logo 改变，还有一个就是 HomeLife 有很多培训在网站里面的资源里面都可以看到，还有就是在后面就是有一个关于这个律师讲的大麻法案，还有最后的一个是网上推广。其实网上推广现在是一个趋势，所以大家应该是做网站和去网上推广，这是一个发展的趋势。好了，这就是全部的这个今天的 HomeLife 的大会。好，明年到时再见。